Hi, and welcome to the Changing Perspectives podcast, the show where we discuss a variety of topics including grief, parenting, health and wellness, and relationships. Join us and explore a number of changing perspectives. We're your hosts, Jenni and Josh Brennan. Hi, Jenni.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. I almost ran out of breath during that opening. Like I didn't take enough of a breath before I hit record. So I almost lost it in the middle. Isn't it though? Hi everybody, welcome to episode 48. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope everybody enjoyed our mindfulness episode that was just released this past Monday. It was episode 47. Jenni and I enjoyed talking about mindfulness. We hope everybody takes a few minutes to explore that and considers introducing mindfulness and meditation into your own lives. And as promised, today we are going to do a part 2 follow-up episode to our live from Toronto episode. And you just love when I say live from Toronto, don't you?
I totally love it. Mm-hmm.
Except the sad part about this episode is we're actually not in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
I got to view you recording the episode with the background of the CN Tower, which was cool, a novelty. But now we are home in New England, ready to share with everybody the rest of our trip. But before that, I wanted to take a minute, if that's okay with you.
Just sit right there.
Yeah. And talk about a couple of... Oh, here we go. Dogs have once again invaded the airwaves of Changing Perspectives. Norma Jean is here and appears to be asking me for something. I don't know. Hi, honey. Where are you right now? Because you're not at this. You're not recording with me right now.
I hit my wall. I hit a wall.
What happened?
I don't know. I finished cleaning and doing some.
Is that what you call that?
Fall cleaning.
Cleaning?
That was cleaning.
Okay.
Yeah, my closet is.
It was controlled chaos.
Because if you're going to clean a closet, everything comes out. And so it is chaotic. And now that it's done, I feel cleansed and relaxed.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you feel that way.
But also, we also have like 57 kids at our house right now.
We do.
I'm trying to also watch out the window. Can you actually move that blind?
Yeah, I can. Jenni and I recently had a moment, as surprising as this sounds, to watch a couple of movies. So I wanted to spend a minute just talking about, because we really enjoyed those. Actually, we're not done with one of them, but we watched on Amazon The Long Shot, starring Charlotte. Who?
What does this
What's
have
her
to
name?
do with anything?
It doesn't. I just wanted to talk about it. I enjoyed watching these movies with you.
God.
Charlize
Okay.
Theron and Seth Rogen. And that was awesome. It was really good. It's basically this Seth Rogen plays this journalist who reunites with his childhood crush, who's now one of the most powerful women in the world. She is the Secretary of State, and she's planning a run for president. And he ends up becoming a speechwriter. And it's a love story. It was fun. It was a romantic comedy, good old fashioned rom-com, but it was with a Seth Rogen sort of twist. It was fun. I liked it. Did you enjoy it?
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where are you?
Well, I'm doing a million things right now, and I'm trying to find out what Everett is barking at.
Oh, he is barking. I do hear him
a dog.
barking.
He's barking at a dog.
He's saying hello to a fellow furry friend who's walking by
This is not riveting.
the front door.
Okay.
Okay.
What?
But I need you here with me.
So when the tables are turned, and it doesn't feel good, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Because I'm often talking to you about something, and you are on your dual screens right there, Googling and doing some research, and it doesn't feel good to talk to a co-host who's not looking at you, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. I wasn't doing that out of spite, but
no,
I was
I
doing
know.
that because
Taste of my own medicine.
I wasn't really ready to record. And
I got you.
I feel rushed.
That's okay.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, we recommend The Long Shot, or Long Shot. Not The Long Shot, it's Long Shot. Available on Amazon now. What is...
It's boring.
It's not boring.
It's boring.
Well, the other one we're watching is called Late Night. That is an Amazon original starring Emma Thompson, right?
Maybe.
And Mindy Kaling.
One of those old British ladies.
Written and directed by Mindy Kaling, who's hilarious. But we are not quite finished with that one. But it's a movie about a late night talk show host who's about to be taken off the air because her ratings are crappy.
Probably like our podcast.
Stop it. I'm really enjoying that one too.
Great.
Fun, feel good comedies. Everybody needs that. That's self-care. And we know from many previous episodes that self-care is not selfish.
Right. That's true.
So yeah, treat yourself to some fun comedies, feel good comedies, Late Night and Long Shot. Available on Amazon.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
That's all the
you know,
vamping
it's ironic.
I want.
So this is our like second part of our Toronto trip report.
Yeah.
Usually when we go away, at some point we like rent a movie and watch a movie. We like get caught up on movies, and we didn't this
We
trip.
didn't, no.
We were out and about.
Out and about. But we ended up catching some movies over the weekend, and
Yeah. No, it's just interesting. I
So
was
we
trying to
did end
segue
up,
us into Toronto,
Yeah.
but
no, that was a good segue.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice segue, Jenny.
Thanks.
As opposed to, what did I say a few episodes ago? Leeway
I
or
think you
something?
said leeway. Yeah.
Stupid.
Okay.
Anyway, so we hope everybody enjoyed the Toronto episode. We certainly enjoyed recording it. We thoroughly enjoyed visiting Toronto. So let's get everybody caught up in the second half of our trip.
Yeah. Remind me, what did we do?
What did we do? So where did we go to dinner on Wednesday?
So Wednesday night we should have taken notes to remind us what we did. Wednesday night was our second to last night there, correct?
Yes. So
we
were
went
recording.
to the Speakeasy.
No.
Yes.
Yes. Ooh, we did.
We did.
Well, because we went to Speakeasy 21,
Right.
which is not
but then
really...
we went to a legit speakeasy.
Yeah, that wasn't really a speakeasy. If anybody doesn't know what a speakeasy is, maybe I'll
He's
pull it
gonna
up
Google
and
it.
I'll
All right,
get an
you look
official
that up while I'm saying-
definition.
So we like that. We really should have been like a couple in the roaring 20s, because we really love that. Like,
Yeah, 20s, 30s, 40s. I love the music from that era.
Yeah, we love the
What was I
music.
listening to? Well, Miles Davis is from the 60s, but I was listening to a little Miles earlier.
yes.
Um,
So we like those kinds of places. And so at some point in our internet searching, we found that Toronto has quite a few speakeasies. And so we walked from our hotel to one. We took a little trip to a different area.
When I put in speakeasy definition on Google, all it says is an illicit liquor store or nightclub.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they are. They were secrets. So during
Yeah.
Prohibition era here in America, but it's a speakeasy in Canada. Did Canada ever have Prohibition? I want to read a history of speakeasies in Canada.
So I've got a better definition. It says a speakeasy, also called a blind pig or blind tiger. No idea how that's a connection. Is an illicit establishment that sells alcoholic beverages. Speakeasies largely disappeared after Prohibition was ended in 1933, and the term is now often used to describe retro-style bars.
Right. So, okay, so that's...
Fair enough.
Yes, retro style. Although this, I say, is a legit speakeasy because it's hidden. And that's what speakeasies were. So during Prohibition era...
The most legit one
Right.
we've ever been to.
So for those of you that are not from America or don't remember American history, for a period of time, the sale of alcohol was prohibited here in America.
Mhm.
But people, as they do when things are prohibited, find a way to do it on the black market. And so there were these secret nightclubs and bars where they would sell alcohol, but they were hidden. There was no signage. There was no advertisement. You'd have to literally there would be a code to get in, like a secret knock on a door or something like that.
Yeah.
So this one had no signage. I mean, of course it had a website. And so it's like tucked away in the middle of a city, like a city neighborhood. Wasn't the financial district. And so I think actually kind of looked like it was in like a Chinatown area. There's a big Asian population
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Toronto
yeah.
from
I would say that.
their immigration history. So it actually looked like you were walking up to someone's walk-up apartment. And Josh was like, nope, I think this is it. Let's just go. And so
It was just the address.
just the address.
Yeah.
And the door was propped open. And so we went up these like 3 long, winding, narrow flights of stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And halfway up, there was 3 signs. And one of the signs had a picture of a martini glass and an arrow.
And that's it.
That's it.
No
which convinced
lettering
us like,
whatsoever.
maybe we are in the right place.
Yeah.
So we walked all the way up, and at the top of the stairs is a keypad that says you have to unlock the door, you have to enter a code. And the code was Toronto. You had to enter in Toronto, but there was no other direction.
We should post pictures on our socials.
But we were smart and figured, you had to enter the code from like the
Alphanumeric,
keypad on your phone. And somehow I got it wrong the first time. So it didn't work.
I think you just had a random button push by accident.
But it didn't work. And so the door did not open. So we did it again. And then the door swung open.
Yeah.
And you're like in this swanky, like dimly lit, beautiful cocktail lounge.
Yeah.
Of course, you're dying because you've like just hoofed it up 3 flights of stairs.
Well, the Urban Dictionary goes on to define speakeasy. They are often nothing more than a nondescript door and barely any signage to be seen, which is exactly what we found.
Yeah, and then they tend to be kind of fancy schmancy cocktails, which I love. Like real craft cocktails, and so they had a menu of fancy cocktails and some snacks, and then there was a riddle that unlocked a secret menu for you. So
I have to pull up the menu and the menu. Yeah, the picture of the menu with the riddle.
With the riddle, but let's not give the answer away.
Well, no, people can pause, try to figure it out.
No, we're just going to post it on our social medias.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, hold on.
Okay, so
you
while
keep
you're
talking,
searching,
I'll pull it up.
So we got it correct, and so they brought over the secret menu. And actually, we didn't want anything off the secret menu. We liked the original menu.
Gotta speak into your mic.
So
there,
I
lady.
forget what I got. Something with like all the alcohol in it. Actually, if you have a picture of the menu, you could probably read what it was.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find it.
I think you got a beer, as usual. You don't really like the cocktails.
Well, no, I like the cocktails. I just can't do many of them.
I can.
I really do like beer, though. Beer and coffee are kind of my thing.
Here's the menu.
How did you find it that quickly?
It's on my phone. I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I? So Go to our social media and you will see.
So we'll post the answer to the socials.
I don't have a picture of the
drink.
The drink because it's on the other side of the menu.
We have a physical picture of the drink, though, not the recipe.
Right, but it's super fancy. It took them like probably 15 minutes to make, and then it was delicious. And it had like a branded orange rind.
Yeah, that was cool. Mostly local beer on the menu, from what I understand. And I had a blonde, an unfiltered blonde. It was good.
Local gins and vodkas, I think, come from their like distillery history.
So if you're in Toronto and you want to check this place out, it's called Suite 114, which is a very cool name and just in general for a bar, but it's Suite 114. I believe it's on, was this the one on Dundas Street or Dundas Street?
I don't really know how to say it.
I forget what part of the city it was in. Not too far from where we were in the financial district, but very cool.
I think this is the one I got. I think it was the Orchidist, Orchardist, the Orchidist. Strong yet delicate with mild baking spice notes. I don't remember that being in the
like
notes.
A nutmeg or something?
I think the notes had just said strong yet delicate. Something I can't pronounce. Canadian Club Rye, Dolan Sweet Vermouth, Benedictine Liqueur.
Oh, excellent.
Chai tea syrup, Clingstone peach bitters.
No one makes a good Benedictine
and
based drink anymore.
Calvados Bouillard Pédiage. I don't know what that is. But it was delicious. And I would say it was strong, yet delicate, because it was like peachy. So it was good. We got a couple snacks, bar snacks. So we just stayed there for one drink and then decided where to go, because we didn't really know where to go. But we then took a lift to, I'm trying to think of our Lyft driver that night was pretty uneventful.
Yeah, nothing too
nothing.
crazy.
We went to the distillery district.
Yes, back to the.
We went back.
Well, we
to see it
talked
at night.
about exactly. We talked about wanting to visit it at night, and we did.
We did, and we just hung out there for a while and watched a Toronto Blue Jays game, and realized
That was fun.
Yeah, and we like talked to the bartender, so got some insight about what it's like to kind of live there and the tourist stuff and the non-tourist stuff. And we just hung out there for a while at one of the breweries there.
So
and I realized that they have a lot of restaurants, and a lot of the restaurants are really big and pretty empty almost every night.
Right.
Like we never had to wait to get in anywhere.
No, actually, you're right. We never waited.
Ever.
I'm going to talk about our preference when we go to restaurants, because I think this ties into a relationship topic a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because of how, I mean, we thoroughly enjoy our date nights, and we thoroughly enjoy being out together. And our preference is to always sit at the bar, but not because we're a couple of winos, just because we like the informalness of the bar. Right. There's not a lot of sometimes you get to chat with the bartender. There's more of like a sort of friendly interaction. Sometimes there's a game on.
There's not a defined end time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the other part of it too.
I feel like I don't want to hold up a table for a waiter.
And we want to just take our time. So I don't want people to think, oh, Jenni and Josh are just drink all the time. We're adults and we enjoy alcoholic beverages, but we enjoy the atmosphere and the informalness of the bar.
However, we will not sit at the bar unless a corner spot is open.
Well, that's what I was just about to say.
We're kind of still sitting facing each other.
Right.
But if there isn't two corner seats available, then we will snag a high top in a bar or a lounge so that we can still see each other, like be in that informal atmosphere.
Well, I really do enjoy sitting at the two corner spots, so perpendicular to each other,
right?
And at a bar, and we thankfully, luckily, for most of our Toronto
incoming 11-year-olds.
Okay,
it might get loud.
I think that's the name of a documentary. Anyway, now I have to look it up. So yeah, we like to sort of sit in that section of the bar. It's a lot of fun. We were lucky we were able to get a lot of those seats pretty much our entire week in Toronto. So that's
whether we went out early or late.
Yeah,
lunch.
We
or
were
dinner.
lucky with that. So I don't know. I recommend that for folks that enjoy going out on date nights. Find a corner spot in the bar. Take your time. Have your staff meeting for your family. Sit there and chat and not have it end time.
Yeah. That night we had poutine.
Yeah, but it wasn't
not
our best.
Favorite.
Not our favorite for the week. We were not healthy.
We didn't really eat dinner. This is what we ate the entire night. We had poutine and nachos.
Yeah, we split stuff.
Yeah,
we shared stuff.
The nachos were fabulous. The poutine was good. But the brewery we were in also brews their own gin. I don't know. Do you brew gin? They distill.
They distill gin. So this is called the Mill Street Brewery.
So I
think they're a chain in Toronto. And you can get their beer elsewhere, not just in their own establishments.
Yeah.
So check out the Mill Street Brewery if you're in Toronto.
So I had a cocktail which was their gin mixed with one of their white wheat beers. It was phenomenal.
Yeah. It looked great. I never had a sip of it, but
it was great.
I stuck with the basics.
And then I think we just walked around the distillery district for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And then we got a lift back to our hotel.
Yeah.
And then
that's pretty much it for that night.
Because you were doing your presentation the next morning.
Yeah, so I had to get some rest.
Yeah.
Rest up.
So wait, nope, that's not true. We did stop in the hotel bar for one drink, just in case there were like coworkers there. And I had
I always like to
cocktail.
take, so I'll pause for a second. besides being able to get the opportunity to speak at these conferences and events, and also um, hear some great content and have the benefit of getting my CEUs for my certification, I also get a chance to network with folks that are also in the field of organ and tissue donation that are across the country. Because if you listen to our Myths About Organ and Tissue Donation episode, there's only usually one designated agency per region. And so you really don't see anybody else that works in your field unless they work in your organization. But these events, I'm fortunate enough to have connections with, friendships with many colleagues of mine across the country, from Michigan to California, Virginia, Florida, Texas, Washington State. And I enjoy being able to connect with them, share stories, collaborate, network. And so sometimes that's at the bar, being able to see them before the end of the night and say hello and see how things are going.
We went back for one drink. And actually really liked the hotel's bar. I liked that hotel.
Yeah.
The Sheridan Center in Toronto.
Yeah, we can say it now because we're not there anymore.
Right. And so that was our Wednesday night. It was a nice night.
Yeah.
And then Thursday was your day of your presentation. So you got up early and you ran. You didn't ever run outside. Right?
No, I used the treadmill.
The gym, the hotel gym. And I did a little more work that day. I had more clients to talk to. And then what?
On one of my coffee breaks, I came down to meet you underground. And we talked about that in the last episode.
That's right. Because that day I was going to go do some work. So I finished up my stuff, got my computer, and was off to go to the Boxcar Social. Which
we talked about in the first Toronto episode.
And was that the day it was closed early for an event?
Yes.
It was. I got there, finally found it, and I got there at like 3:50, and at 4 it was closing.
Yeah.
So I didn't go there that day, very sadly.
But you went there on Friday, which we'll talk about.
Yeah. I feel like I did go there. I feel like maybe that was Wednesday that happened.
That was Wednesday that happened.
So Thursday I went to the mall. I went and I explored.
Yeah, and you did shopping for the boys. I think I did
go to Boxcar Social, and I did sit and do some work there for a little bit. I had one of their iced teas.
Oh, okay.
And then I went to the mall because I was on the hunt for some souvenirs. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of walked around a different section of Toronto by myself. And then, no, that wasn't... we're mixing days.
That's okay.
Some of this at one of those points, you did meet me in the coffee bar at the bottom of the hotel. It was called
the M Coffee Bar, below the Sheridan Center. It was in the Eaton Shopping Center in Toronto. Listen,
that was Wednesday because I had an oatmeal cookie, and I actually think it made me feel yucky.
As people have already...
Not because it's a bad cookie, but because I should not be eating oatmeal cookies.
Right.
Yeah.
As people already know about me, I love coffee. I used to work for Starbucks. I was a barista for many years throughout college, and love coffee. I love the old, good old fashioned espresso bar, like the mom and pop coffee shop. Think of Central Park on Friends. There used to be this place in Boston, right at the State House, called Curious Liquids. That was my favorite place to go in college when I went to UMass Boston. And this place, not as cozy as one of those places, but it was very reminiscent of that. They made great espresso drinks. I had a flat white in there that was excellent. I think I had they did a nice job with cold brew, and I think I had an Americano as well. Anyway, great coffee. And you went down and happened to be doing some work there. Mm-hmm. And I came to meet you on one of my coffee breaks, which was fun.
Yes, that was for sure Wednesday,
Yeah,
because that's when we decided to go to Suite 114. But there were some people from Great Britain, and they were commenting to the people that were working there that they made a lovely cup of tea.
Oh, nice.
And I do agree. I think I had another cup of iced green tea.
Nice.
With something in it. I forget.
So that evening, after my conference was done.
Thursday, I don't remember what we did.
Well, we had a recommendation from the night before from the bartender at Mill Street to go to Ossington, this
Right.
area of Toronto that,
Oh, I know what we did.
yeah,
Okay.
really cool area of Toronto. I want to talk about where we went. Then Jenny can talk about how we got there.
Well, yeah,
if you
but
want.
first, so we love a little boutique hotel chain.
Oh,
called
that's
Kimpton.
right. Is
Mhm.
that what we started with?
Yes. Called the Kimpton Hotels.
Mhm.
Like our favorite hotels ever. So anytime we're in a new city, they tend to be kind of expensive, so we don't often stay in them.
But we like to visit.
We like the ones
and
here in
have
Boston and stay when they're on
beverages and
special.
meals.
Yeah, but anytime we're in a city that has one, we go and check it out because
Yeah.
often they're in like historic buildings. There's a lot of like historic flavor around them, and they're each a little bit different, and they all have like a little lounge.
Yeah.
They also, if you stay there, have a hosted wine reception every night,
They do.
for an hour.
Included.
and we could have dropped in. I don't think
I don't think they were checking
room cards.
Yeah.
But that's not honest. So they like do hors d'oeuvres and wine for free as part of your room. So we walked in and they were doing that, and that looked like it was a cool place to do that.
Yeah.
That reception.
It was a nice, like foyer sitting area.
And then they all have like a restaurant and sort of bar attached
Mhm.
to them. And that was probably the most crowded place that we had been to. Was
Yeah, it
that
was
place.
packed.
It was packed.
We got a table right away, but it was still packed.
We did. I didn't
Yeah.
like our table because it was literally like in a path. And so once they're allowed children.
They're allowed children.
Yes. So once a better table opened up, we moved. But again, had a lovely cocktail there. They always have a lovely craft cocktail menu that's personalized to the location that they're in. So you had a Guinness, I had a cocktail, and we had a pretzel. Nothing really fancy. But it was great. It was delicious. I don't think I would stay at that hotel though. It didn't.
No, and
Maybe the room. I would want to see what the rooms look like. But our Lyft driver had told us that it used to be a Holiday Inn, and so you really did get that flavor. You could still kind of feel that it had been a different type of hotel.
And it was probably it was in a different part of the city that didn't
seem to
speak
fit.
very Kimpton to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if I would have
seemed like
want
it
to
was
stay
in
there.
a college area. There
But
were a
what do
lot
we-
of like millennials there after work.
We had a
Nothing
pretzel.
against millennials, but
Well, that's a different episode. We had a pretzel with beer cheese. It was really good.
beer cheese.
Beer
yes.
cheese.
Yeah,
I liked
it. Was
it.
good. It was good.
So
And then we got our
took the
Lyft.
most crazy Lyft ride that we've taken in a while.
And we should have known because
I
when he
know.
turned around the corner and pulled
Oh, my
into like the
goodness.
little valet area, we didn't see what happened, but we saw the result. And the result was that a
Losing
passerby
his mind.
punched the car. And then the driver started yelling at him, but the passerby continued walking. And the
And
driver told us that nothing had happened to make the kid do that.
But
I
he
question that
proceeded
now.
to, yeah, so do I. But he proceeded to complain about the state of Toronto.
Which was really interesting.
It was.
But he just
Snowballed
he
into
became
worldwide politics and hate. It was interesting. I don't think he had anything towards us, and he was just sharing with us. He was like sharing a lot.
He was sharing very passionately.
Yeah.
But there were a few moments that I was like, well, this is where we die.
He was getting fired up.
He was working himself
very
up.
emotional. Right.
And when we're in situations like that, Josh shuts down.
I didn't shut down.
Yes.
I
he
was just
stops-
listening.
He stops responding and talking or asking questions, and that leaves me to be the only one to
But
do
I don't
that because
think-
I'm not comfortable
so-
ignoring them.
I wasn't ignoring. I don't think I respond as quickly as you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So and you feeling a little bit unsafe, I should have responded quicker.
Yeah. It was
But
so.
we're okay. And he was nice at the end. Have a great night.
He was,
You know?
yeah, I don't think it was about
Yeah,
it. He was
yeah.
just very impassioned.
Yeah.
But so when he dropped us off, I was feeling rather unsettled. Like I hadn't been able to sort of pay attention to where
Yeah.
we were going, how we were getting there. The Lyft driver that we took from our hotel to the Kimpton Hotel was lovely. He didn't smell lovely, but he was lovely, and he gave us like
Very
a tour
nice.
of the city,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he like asked us to come back and offered to like be a private tour guide for our family.
Yeah, he was great.
He was really, really lovely.
He was talking about his kids.
Yeah, and he also was talking about
just graduated college.
He was political. Like there's a lot of political stuff going on in Toronto while we were there. And
that's what's interesting about talking to taxi drivers or Lyft drivers. And we mentioned Semester at Sea, our study abroad experience, I think in the Culture and Grief episode. And one of the things I learned about during that time was how great it can be to talk to the locals of wherever you're visiting, especially in a cab or a taxi or these days a ride share, and really learn about those folks. Remember the Lyft driver we had, or a Uber in Fort Lauderdale, whose wife was like a astrophysicist or something.
Yes.
That was amazing.
Yes.
It's really great to talk to people.
His other daughter like works for the CIA.
I know, right?
Legit.
Like it's for real. Like was flying to Langley the next day or something. Yeah. Yes. Unbelievable. Very cool. And I enjoyed talking to even the second guy who was very impassioned and a little bit scary. I enjoyed talking to him too.
So we arrived at our second destination and I was feeling unsettled. The area wasn't quite what I pictured it to be. So, and there was trash everywhere because it was clearly trash pickup the next morning. So the streets were literally lined with trash, which threw me off too.
Wasn't quite. I think we were expecting like the Federal Hill or Federal Street area for Baltimore.
Yeah.
But it wasn't quite that, but it was close.
Yeah.
But the establishments were pretty much what we were looking for.
Except the Wi-Fi was down.
Yeah, so which affected their ability to...
were taking credit card. Yeah. They were only taking cash. And by that time in our our child has a friend who's getting picked up any minute now. And I want to catch them when they get here that our dogs don't go crazy.
Can you see?
Keeps yelling at me that I'm looking out the window.
Jenny keeps looking out the window and I'm like, what are you looking at? Because the 10-year-olds are inside.
I know, I hear them.
Okay.
So everywhere had been taking card, so we didn't have a lot of
Canadian money.
And the Wi-Fi was down, so we couldn't go to the ATM. It was like down in the whole area. So
we were limited in our funds.
And we went to a brewery, and the bar was really packed. But we tried to sit at the bar. We should have sat at a table.
Yeah. The atmosphere was great. Like the seating.
They needed to take one bar stool out because the people were literally like on each other's laps.
Yeah. Sardines a little bit.
After the car ride we just had, my like social anxiety was up and I couldn't do it. And Josh was like, I don't think you're going to like any
all
of these
microbrews and a lot of sours, which I'm not a fan of sours. I'm pretty much like all other beers, but.
So we left. I feel bad. I think if we were going back, I would absolutely go
sit at a table
there and get something else. But it was just, and I think honestly, if the ride hadn't happened the way it happened, I think it would have been different. But we left,
and the menu didn't look. I don't know. There's nothing really jumped out at me on the menu either, like food wise.
So there was a tequila bar next door, and same thing. They didn't have. Their Wi-Fi was down, but we had enough cash for 2 drinks and 3 tacos.
Yeah.
And they had like an outdoor patio.
And they had the coolest name ever.
Reposado. It was a really cool place. We would have hung out there all night on the outdoor patio. They made some great tequila drinks. You must have had a beer. I had 1 drink.
I did.
And the tacos were phenomenal.
So they're called Reposado. It's a small little boutique-y tequila bar. 136 Ossington Avenue in Toronto, Ontario. So check out Reposado. They were cool. Reposadobar.com. Then we went where? We went to
Earl's.
Right?
We were going to go.
Was that the night? Yeah. Earl's was great.
We were thinking about going back to the Cactus Club because we knew we liked it, but we decided to try something a little bit different. Earl's is a chain. And I think they have some here in America. They might even have one in Boston.
I'm going to pull up their website.
But it was a cool place, and I wish we had sat outside. It was like all the other restaurants in Toronto. It was like 3 restaurants in one. There was like an indoor kind of upscale sort of steakhouse. And then around the corner was like not a sports bar, but like a lounge.
Yeah.
Like a lounge with all high tops and another big bar. And then there was a huge outdoor area too.
We talked about how how all these restaurants seem to have so many, like, huge areas, lots of multiple areas that are both outside and traditional restaurant style areas, bar, lounges, all within under the same umbrella, so to speak. And Earl's was not different at all. They're all over the place. A big Canada chain, but they're also in the U.S. in Washington State, Boston, Chicago, Denver. They're in Lone Tree, Jenny.
Yeah, I remember reading this now.
Park Meadows Mall in Lone Tree, Colorado. Orlando, Miami, Somerville. There's 2 in Massachusetts.
Where's the one in Boston? Is it the Prudential Center?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm remembering reading this. So we sat at the bar, again, a corner spot, and we had the most amazing lobster tostadas ever.
So good.
I would say this place was probably one of the most expensive places we'd gone to. Those lobster tostadas were expensive for
they're small.
Yeah, 4 little teeny
yummy.
ones, but they were great. And we split a steak. Right?
Yeah.
That's what we got. And I had a margarita.
Yeah, a Don Julio margarita, and it came in like a De las Muertas skull.
Oh my God, it's such a cool mug.
Yeah, the mug was awesome.
Yeah.
And they, I forget what kind of beer I had. I think I just had a local Pilsner or something. But it was good. Earl's was great. I liked the whole atmosphere. We watched Thursday Night Football together.
And we watched that guy hit on the girl next to us.
Yes.
We left before the show was over.
Yeah.
What was
funny.
his pickup line? I forget what his pickup line was.
It was weak, man. It was weak. It was
yeah.
about the Moscow Mule she was drinking, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
He made some lame.
That's a real. They have real Moscow Mule cups here. You don't see that a lot of places.
So, how do you think you're going to be successful in your pickup when you start off with mansplaining something like that?
I don't know.
Listen, I haven't been single for a long time, and I know that that's bad. Anyway, so Earl's was fun.
We did then, as we were kind of mocking them.
This, you know what?
We
might want to categorize this one as a relationship episode.
What would like the current versions of us, if we were single, what would that look like if we're out at a bar and playing this pickup game that they're playing? Don't forget,
Changing Perspectives fans. We've been together since we were 15.
Right, so we've never played that game ever. Like the game we would play was back when we were 14 or 15, and it was like you passed
literally
notes.
The last time I picked somebody up, I was at my locker across from French class. That's the last time.
So we pretended. Which made me think of Modern Family, because Claire and Phil always do that, and I like that. And I love that. Relationship.
Yeah.
Remember, where at some point you want to do an episode about like media couples.
Yes.
Claire and Phil would be on that list because it's good for their relationship. So we were playing this game.
Phil Dunphy, TM,
and realizing that Josh is far better at that game than I.
It was fun though.
It was fun,
and I'm confident in my ability to be able to pick you up. But here's the problem with that: is I think I was good at picking you up because I know you,
right?
And I think I would know, what you like.
Yeah, I'm not good,
but
we
we have to tell the story because we keep laughing. I don't
remember how we got there, but we were learning about each other.
Yeah, we were going back and forth, and I was making comments about her margarita, and I said, you keep glancing up towards the football game. Do you enjoy football, or something? We went back and forth for a minute. There was a lull in the conversation. And I felt Jenny suddenly thought she was on the playground or something.
No, that's not what happened. I think you said, I don't drink tequila or something, but some of my friends do. You made a comment about friends. You opened the door about friends. I did. And then I said,
well, there was a lull. Like clearly, like the tennis ball was hit to you. It was your turn to speak, and you said, "What are
your friends' names?" And that's where the game ended.
Yeah, because we just both started laughing too much.
Yes, and realized that guy next to us had far more game than I did, even with his Moscow Mule. So
his mansplaining.
This is the fun we have when we go out and sit at the corner spot of a bar. It is fantastic people watching. And then we went back to the hotel lobby where like everyone was. from the conference.
Yes.
And
We had fun hanging out with some of my colleagues. We went to a different bar. It was like an Irish bar. It was fun.
I did some grief education. So I was also kind of networking and talking to people and providing some education about grief.
Yeah.
So
No, it was fun.
It's always interesting to me when people are willing to talk about that stuff. So
Yeah.
it was fun. It was a good night. And then
the Friday morning of my conference ended about noontime or so. And then we spent the afternoon at our favorite place. Actually, we checked out Boxcar Social finally together first.
I was waiting for you there. I went there to do some more work while I was waiting for you to be done. And you met me there after you got lost and couldn't find it. Why do I smell Axe body spray right now? Are those 3 11-year-olds spraying each other with body spray?
Probably.
Good Lord. Up next, How to Parent Tweens and Teens.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
By Nose Plugs. Oh, my God. I think they must have spilled it.
Oh, no.
Oh,
you
gosh.
can't spill spray, though.
I don't know what they did.
Well, I wouldn't put it past them to figure out a way to spill spray.
All right. My brain cells are dying from.
All right. So Friday we went to
spray.
Boxcar Social. We talked about that on the last episode, so we won't bore you with that. That was fun. And then we spent, again, the afternoon finally actually eating a meal.
Yes.
At the Cactus Club. So
this
is our third time back to the Cactus
Club. We attempted to eat outside on ground level. And we went in and asked for a table outside, and somehow they must have been like, "Oh, these people have been here twice in the past 4 days.
Well,
let's send them back
Mr.
to the
and
roof."
Mrs. Brennan will bring you to your table,
So
which is at the bar.
We went back upstairs and sat at the corner spot in the bar and had guacamole for the third time and had wonderful... I just texted him and said, "Are you spraying body spray?" And he said, "Maybe."
Oh, my goodness.
We had wonderful modern bowls, which were like
explain what that was.
Grilled chicken and greens and pineapple salsa and jasmine rice and cucumbers and was that it? I think that might have been it. It was vegan except for the grill. I had a grilled chicken to mine, so not vegan or vegetarian, but it was delicious. It was so good.
Yeah, it was good. It was fresh, healthy.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that a lot.
And I realized that a lot of business people in Toronto, I don't know if it was just a Friday thing, but it was lunchtime, and there were a lot of people there from work.
Yeah, it was
who
busy.
were there
People
for
in suits
hours.
and
They were there for a long, and they were drinking.
Well, it was Friday, so I think people
I don't know if it was
ended
a Friday,
their
maybe
days
they
early, whatever.
But and then we left and went to the airport and took the shortest ferry ride of our lives.
We absolutely could have walked back and forth under the tunnel from Toronto, the mainland of Toronto, to Billy Bishop Airport Island, probably 4 times in the time it took us to wait for and take the ferry.
But we felt like we had to have the experience of taking this free ferry across, which used to be the only way you could get to Billy Bishop Airport. And then we checked in, and literally there was 0 line at the security.
Oh, it was great.
Like, there was...
And
you didn't even have to take off your sneakers, but I did anyways because I felt weird. And then you're there, and then the airport, on that side of the airport for Porter Air, is just one big room. Like there's not even different gates. When your flight is ready to board, they tell you which of the 4 doors to go to, and then you go out to the tarmac and board your plane. But we decided to eat some dinner. And we had our favorite poutine of the trip.
Yes.
At an airport.
Hands down.
Crazy.
I will tell you, because we talked about this on the first episode and the last episode. We teased it a little bit, how we had thought that there was nothing in the airport.
Right.
But we were wrong. And there's actually a few different spots to get food. I just Googled it because I just saw 2 areas, but I think there was another area.
I think they all were the same. I think they're all from that same kitchen and that same menu.
Oh, okay, like a central location.
But there's like buzzers on tables, and so you can hit a buzzer, and that will alert the wait staff that you want something, and they'll come and serve you, which I thought was really cool and clever.
So there's a couple different places to get coffee at the Billy Bishop Airport, and then there's 2 different places to get food. It looks like it's called Bar Obispo restaurant, like a tapas restaurant. We didn't eat there, but the place we did eat, we had the poutine, was Market 40. I'm sorry.
I think the other place is probably in the other terminal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't go there.
Yeah.
Market 416.
Yes. It was great. Their poutine was made with fresh cut potato chips instead of French fries.
So
much preferred.
People from Canada that I met told me it's called chips and gravy. Like that's poutine. But this one was actually potato chips,
right?
Not French
delicious.
fries. But it was excellent. Yeah, it was.
And I had an old fashioned
tasty.
because even the airport lounge has old fashioned. So I was like, I have to get an old fashioned at the airport, and it was fantastic. And then we boarded our flight. The turboprop was much easier for me the second time around. Perhaps it was because I had an old fashioned before, or perhaps it was because now I knew what to expect. And then I did accept the free beer that they offered through Porter Airlines. Except
so did I.
I didn't know if I liked a Pilsner or a lager. So I liked that you were there.
It depends,
and you were like,
but I think the safest bet for someone that likes a lighter beer is a Pilsner.
It was good, but it was in a giant can, and I eventually had to drink it way faster than I wanted to.
It was a pleasant
but they gave it to you in a real
ride.
glass. It was very nice.
It was a really pleasant plane ride for what we were on.
And the landing was much better this time.
Full
so
flight.
Maybe it was something about Toronto, the landing in Toronto, or maybe it was super windy the day we flew into Toronto. But I would absolutely fly the airline again. I would go to Toronto again. Would I bring the kids?
I would.
You would? I
sure.
was commenting, I didn't really see kids while we were there. I
But
saw
our kids
one
are different.
child. But there is a lot that we would have to have a
little bit of a different
homelessness
itinerary, but they
everywhere.
But they enjoy trying new places, new food.
We didn't really sightsee. We didn't go up into the tower. We were an hour away from Niagara Falls. We didn't go. So yeah, I would go.
We originally thought we were going to maybe see a Blue Jays game. We didn't end up doing that, but I think we would have with the boys.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I would bring them. I would fly Porter Air again. I would go with you on a work trip again. I didn't get done as much as I wanted to get done in terms of work because I spent time sleeping a little bit late, and I was doing work.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually seeing patients. So all in all, it was a good
fun.
Trip. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. We added Toronto to our list of places we've been. The conference was great professionally. It was a really great conference.
Oh, and flying out of Logan Airport internationally on a Monday morning and flying back in on Friday evening.
That's the way to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes me rethink all of our international travel
mm-hmm.
because we cleared customs and immigration in less than 10 minutes. I had to go to the back. I had to pee so badly when we got off the plane, and it was fine. I couldn't go until after we cleared everything, and it was fine because it was so quick. And every other time we've been through it, we're waiting in lines forever. And same with getting there. There was no lines. So
there wasn't.
Something to think about.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining us on this episode. Does anybody, what's the matter with me? Do you have anything else to say about Toronto, Jenny? We correctly did not categorize this as a pint-sized perspective. I think this is almost an hour long.
I was going to say, is this a pint size?
No, it's not. It's a normal.
Okay.
We should have taken a break in the middle, but that's okay.
Okay, all right.
It's all good.
Thanks for bearing with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully it's interesting. I don't know. I always like listening to other people's trip reports of places they go. It's kind of like watching something on the Food Network.
Yeah.
I'm not going to necessarily
it's an audio food
make
network.
anything, but there's something kind of interesting about watching other people kind of make food or hearing other people's trip. I kind of live vicariously through them. So hopefully it's interesting for some people.
And we do like to travel, and so we will sprinkle a little bit of trip reports throughout the Changing Perspectives content.
Yeah, we'll have a big Disney one and Disney Cruise one before the end of the year.
And I think that people did enjoy listening to the stuff that was recorded live from Disney. So we'll try to do that again with the boys.
Yes.
While we're there. And with our nieces and nephews.
15 other people that are going to be there with us. Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, everybody. That is going to do it for today. Thank you so much for listening. For today's show notes links, you can, again, check out ctorontonow.com. I also have a new one for you guys. It's thethrillist.com. And their article that I like was 27 things you need to know before visiting Toronto. So go ahead and check that out. Follow us on Facebook, everybody, at Changing Perspectives Podcast, and on Instagram at Changing Perspectives Blog. You can send us an email to changingpodcast@gmail.com. You can also visit our website by going to changingperspectivesblog.com. And while you're there, don't forget to visit the shop to check out all that Changing Perspectives merchandise. Hashtag Jenny, buy me a hat. Go ahead and subscribe to the show so you'll never miss an episode, and we will see you next time. Say bye, Jenny.
Bye, Jenny.
The Changing Perspectives podcast is produced, recorded, and edited by Dizzy Bird Studios. Please visit Dizzy Bird Studios on Facebook, facebook.com/DizzyBirdStudios.